But we're not done. We will get there because I'm just one insane person that never ever gives up, no matter what. No? No, I'm referring to more like we had something genius worth billions and we just let it go.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Wolfside YouTube channel. Now, very interesting, the story behind Starvolt. Henrik is not communicating a lot when it goes about the company and how the company formed and stuff like that. But finally we got a little bit more details. So Henrik's personal story, how he started all this and why he started all this. So let's enjoy the lore behind Starvolt.
How did you learn to develop games? I started when I was a little child, when computer was almost a thing. My cousins, that was like 10 years older than me, two twins, geniuses, they learned to code very early on. And I got my first Commodore 64. And they showed me a little bit how to code stuff, how to play around with that computer. And then some games arrived, and that kind of started my interest when it comes to computers and eventually games. So started very, very early on, and as time passed by, I never got gaming consoles from my parents. They didn't thought I would should have a game console because you couldn't do anything practical in those. You could only game. So they gave me a computer instead, even though I was a little upset. All my friends had Nintendo and Sega and all that, you know. But I got my computer. And obviously, over time, eventually, more games arrived to the computers that obviously also made it interesting. And slowly but steady, I was in that area. And then Diablo 1 came. You know, it started a little bit with Command and Conquer, Orcs and Humans, Diablo. Those were like the big things. Doom, Quake, obviously those were big iconic titles that kind of, holy shit, this is amazing. Diablo was also the first magical moment for me when I thought, holy shit, this is an amazing world. I when I think about it, I can feel that feeling in my stomach that I felt, that magic. And then when I was playing Diablo, or some guys from Origin reached out. They needed testers for a game called Ulitma Online. And when they described it, I thought, holy shit, this sounds like a whole new level of Diablo, kind of. And when I finally got logged into Ulitma Online on my 28.8 modem from Sweden to North America, holy shit, I could take 3 steps, then pause, 3 steps, and then pause. But I was so amazed, even though I couldn't even move. That's kind of where it really started, that shit. This is something I want to do in the future. This is awesome. Just imagine with the technology moving forward. I want to do something like this. Played Ultima Online for 10 years, and then I also slowly started to get into more serious game development. I was looking for proper education as well, build a network. And I was lucky enough that not too far away in my country, there was one of the first really hardcore, more game-focused development educations that I applied to, and I got in. And the teacher there and founder was actually Mats, that is, you know, that I recruited later on to the company, or in the end of that education. So I learned a lot from obviously the different steps, and then having that education as well at the last step, where I wanted to learn more specific game development and be able to communicate with all the different positions and know more broad things of every step of the development. And again, tie additional network and talents from that school, because back then it was a little bit more tricky to find developers. And then I contacted Epic Games, and I thought, who the hell is this kid, Henrik, calling me, the vice president of Epic Games, trying to get our next generation Unreal Engine 3 when they're not even on the map. No title produced, they doesn't exist, and we are all noobs and young. And they tell me, man, you know, this is an engine that only Microsoft and 10 other giants can license. We haven't released it yet. It's you know, our big thing. It's gonna be the best engine ever, and it cost a few millions. So maybe not. Hang up the phone, and I was thinking, son of a bitch, we need this. We need a game engine, because some of our coders were very talented in using the old Unreal Engine, and were very familiar with that, so we had something to start on, and we didn't want to recreate a game engine from scratch and spend 2 to 3 years in risking in an engine that maybe wasn't sufficient. So I kept calling the president, vice president, and said, come on, man, come on. And after 1 year of nice harassment, he said, you're never giving up. Let's do this, you know, let's take a shot. Let's see what we can do. So I was one of the very few that managed to get a source license for Unreal Engine 3. And no one else had that engine pretty much, other than some giants. There were no games out yet. And I never forget when we went on short thereafter, we went on the first gaming convention in Germany. We were next to the biggest gaming company in Germany, and they were going to release a new MMO like a half year later, and promoted the game there. And they were running on Unreal Engine 2, guys. And we were next to them promoting Unreal Engine 3. And there was even some of the high, you know, the CEOs of that company came up to me and said, how the hell did you get an Unreal Engine 3? We're only on Unreal Engine 2, you know. I saw it in their eyes that they felt that, shit, who are these guys? Stealing attention. So yeah, it was quite an interesting journey. And at the same time, I was struggling with getting the fundings, because yeah, it's obviously not cheap to hire a whole team for X amount of years just developing and not making a single coin of profits or sales or anything like that. So it was the so-called Mission Impossible, and everyone in the industry told me it's impossible to do it like that, and you won't be able to do it. You will fail. Join us instead. We are massive entertainment. Ubisoft, the biggest, best company in the world. Join us instead. You know, that sounded awesome, and I was tempted. But obviously, I had high passion about a true sandbox MMORPG. So I said, you know, I want to keep trying. And yeah, 16 years passed. Here we are today. It's been a long and interesting journey for sure. Just fast forwarding to where we are today. Obviously, there's quite insane stories during those first years as well that are, I guess, quite interesting for those that are interested in what the hell happened. But yeah, maybe another time. There's a lot happened over the years that are just sounds like that sounds as taken from a movie. That's crazy. All right, my man, hard towards you. All right, Bruce. All right, I'm waiting. I'm up for it. Way to go. Way to be a go-getter. You should be proud. Thank you, Ventureborn. I mean, I was thinking, obviously, these are the industry's leaders, the giants. They know what they're talking about. So I was very humble and thought they are right. This is an impossible road to take, and it's not traditional. No one have done it before. So, but I didn't want to give up. It did motivate me to go for it even more. But yeah, it was actually very, very close of not happening at all. There's some interesting stories here as well. So I went through whole Sweden, visited, you know, investors, all kind of opportunities and meetings, and a lot of investors, etc., were very excited and thought, shit, this sounds very exciting. And you managed to get Unreal Engine, but obviously without fundings, we can't really start it. Many were interested, but obviously it's hard for a senior to invest in something they don't understand. So when I went through like almost a year and spent hundreds of meetings and no one kind of stepped up the game to commit, I committed a huge part myself, but you know, obviously I wouldn't be able to cover everything. So I was thinking, okay, everyone is right, I was wrong. It's not possible to do it like this, so I have to give up and kind of look what would be my next step personally. I had one meeting left planning my book. I thought, all right, I was close to cancel it, but I thought it's only a 2-hour drive, so let's do it. So I went there and I met a little bit younger investors. And again, they said the same thing. Sounds awesome, exciting. But with the main difference in the end, let's do it. And I was, what? Let's do it. And yeah, that's where it really started. So we actually made the way of listing the company back then on the stock market. So I became the youngest CEO of that market in Sweden. And not only that, I were pretty much running the whole emission privately myself, because I was so passionate to get things done and quickly and efficient, with some help, obviously, with experienced people. And when I managed to finish that emission and it was over, signed, and in record speed, the CEO of the stock market in Stockholm called me and congratulated me, and I thought, for what? You made it in record speed, overrated, over signed, and yeah, your age, you know, you're young to be doing this. And that kind of surprised me, that I thought I was doing things, you know, poorly. I was very humble that I don't know these things and I'm just wanna deliver 100%. Didn't sleep anything, I just worked day and night through all these steps, but it was very exciting when I saw these pieces getting in place, and it just made me such a boost and yeah, open up the opportunity. Henrik sounds like my drunk uncle talking about his military past. Yeah, I don't know if I'm boring you guys or if it's of any interest, but to me it was quite the journey, and I know it's one of a kind in Sweden at least. And yeah, there's been so many interesting events surrounding all this from the start to up to here. Very interesting journey. And there's also another thing that kind of gave me a little headache. I don't like talking about it because it's, when you hear it, you're gonna cry blood. You're gonna cry blood. You know, there's been some interesting, exciting things also, you know, that we were doing initially and how that turned out. But yeah, maybe that's for another story. It's quite interesting, but at the same time a little heartbreaking because of what happened. But anyway, I don't want to bore you out, guys. Henrik sounds like the Tony Stark of gamers. No, ignore them. It's interesting to hear the trip down the memory lane. Yeah, no, I mean, it's interesting just looking back, you know. It's crazy. What happened? You know, how did it start? You just always been in the moment, never looked back, and just always been going at it. And just every years have been passing, and it's interesting to take a little break, pause, just to look back. What the hell happened? How do we do this? You know, it's interesting. Referring to the law, you're referring to lawsuits. Lawsuits? No, I'm referring to more like we had something genius worth billions, and we just let it go in very short. So it's more like just laugh and cry at the same time and move on. Don't dwell, you know. One of those moments, if you know what I mean. But we're not done. We will get there, because I'm just one insane person that never ever gives up, no matter what. So you're stuck with me. You're stuck with me. And hopefully I'm stuck with you guys. It's an awesome support from you guys. Actually pretty inspiring example of why not to quit on your dream. Yeah, thank you. Oh, No, I haven't fed my horsey. I don't even have horsey food.
And while Henrik is searching for horsey food, now you know the story behind Starvold. Please leave good feedback for Henrik down in the comments, would be awesome. Because without him, we all wouldn't be here right now. Okay, if you take this literally, no, don't take this literally, you know what I mean. Special thanks to all the supporters: Carmel, Professor O, Slum of Gaming, Thibni, Lordless, Frederick, Rhonus, Paarthurnax, Vinya, Cologne, Bulldog, Xunila, you, and all the others, of course. And never forget to make Starvold hard, party hard, and see you all next time. Goodbye.